kept in by Boutin. Mercier coming out of the corner. He'll center at the backhander off the post. They score!
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Wildcast Instacast. Post-game show presented by Appliance Solutions.
2-2 tie. 4:30
to
go.
Back Halifax Street,
506-858. Mercier coming out of the corner. He'll center at the backhander off the post. They score!
Purchase any two qualifying
workers,
appliances, and receive $200 in savings. Purchase any three
Mercier coming out of the corner. He'll center at the backhander off the post. They score!
6th time in a row. Winning it. Wildcats gave 5-2 victory over Quebec at the Avenir Center, giving them their 6th straight victory as they get set to embark on the road trip, the longest of the road trips this year, as they head to Val-d'Or, Rouyn-Noranda, and Gatineau, East Coast. I can hear you, but I hear Marty in the background, probably because one of the things was playing as I found it. So, but yeah, they get just finding that first goal there. There we go. All right, now you just hear me. Yeah, so they obviously had, I apologize, Layla. I had it going on in the background. Let's go quickly around the queue. Halifax getting at 5. Every game is done. Seems a lot of games were in the afternoon today. I don't know if that was a Halloween thing on a Saturday, kind of an event thing, or just seemed like a lot of games were at 5 or 6 instead of the usual Saturday night 7 o'clock. Halifax gets a 5-4 victory over Bathurst, Cape Breton, 2-1 over Blainville, Baie-Comeau 6-4 over Rimouski, Victoriaville 3-1 over Shawinigan, Gatineau beats Val-d'Or 8-5, Sherbrooke 6-2 over Shawinigan, or 6-2 over Chicoutimi, and in overtime, Val-d'Or and Rouyn-Noranda are tied 1-1. And like I said, at the Avenir Center, the Wildcats 5-2 for their 6th straight victory over the Quebec Remparts. I wasn't sure, to be honest, and I'm burying the lead a little bit there, and I'll get to it. First of all, my thoughts are with Matthew Perry. If you haven't heard from Friends, if you're a big Friends fan, if you're my age and you grew up on Friends, has passed away. But yeah, so that's a little jarring. So I'm a little, but some unfortunate injuries tonight. Good to see Gabe Smith take the warm up. He did take the warm up. Just gonna try and find the lineup here. Took the warm up, didn't play, so leads me to believe he's probably going to play on the road trip. He was practicing. He's on the ice. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find the lineup here so that I have it for my thoughts a little bit later. Where are you? I know you're there. There you are. Yeah, so the first period, shots 11-10 for Quebec. Both goaltenders were good. They kept it 0-0. Steinman was good. Louis-Antoine Deneau. Yeah, Brandon, dude's 6'7", and he's only 17. Like he is a big body in that net. A couple times he used, I think it was in the second period, he used all of that 6'7" frame to stop Mercier in tight. Again, last night I said this isn't the normal Quebec team that we're used to seeing in year one of a rebuild, but they've got some good players. I mean, Komarov is a big body back there. Kassim Gaudet seemed to be in on most every play. Agostino had a goal. But yeah, after 20 minutes, shots were 11-10 for Quebec. They kind of controlled the first, I'd probably say half of the first period. Moncton kind of got their legs going, and once they got their legs going, things went well. But yeah, in that first period, I don't know how there's 4 officials on the ice and they miss a high stick, especially one that knocks Moran to the ice, and he's now bleeding. Layla mentioned to me up in the booth. I mean, if you have to stop the play and the guy is on the ice, you should at least be able to go review it to see what you missed. And I don't know if Wellner and Hopkins, at that point, I wasn't sure if they knew what a high stick was. They eventually figured it out. But you should be able to kind of review something, especially if the guy's on the ice. Oh, it was a cross check to the mouth. Okay, I didn't know if it was a cross check or a high stick. I kind of missed it. You should be able to review that kind of stuff, but ultimately, I think they just kind of talk to each other. It's tough to give a penalty after you don't know what you missed, and there's 4 guys on the ice. I don't know how none of them miss it, considering I think the puck was just past them, so they're kind of looking in that general area. But again, that's the world we live in. Human error is a real thing. Officials are going to make mistakes, and ultimately, Moran was out from the first period, midway through the first period, basically for the rest of the game. So what we got here? So Moffat had the holding penalty. That was fine. So yeah, 1-0. So after the intermission, Wildcats come out just under a minute in. Here is the call from Julius Sumpf, the Sump Pump, with the first goal on the power play. Here it is.
No score. We played 40 seconds. Simple fire one right on the rebound to Trenum. He tried to put it in the open side. Another shot. They score! Julius Soup! Good pressure by the Cats. And
bit of a broken play there.
Julius.
But I mean, good to be lucky to be good. But yeah, just kind of a broken play from that second power play unit. Trenum from his knees. He was on the podcast post-game show last night, got an assist. We'll get to him in just a little bit here. But yeah, that second power play, and it's a thing where it's good to see not only the first power play going, but when you get contributions from your second power play, it makes a bit of a difference. And then, sorry, there's noise in the studio, and I thought one of the cats was in here. And then Augustino, like I said, a couple minutes later, he got them on the board on the power play. I wasn't writing down the goals, so I'm sorry, I don't remember what that one was. Hi, Braxton. And then about 4 minutes later, Bruno Yalisty, I'm guessing, got his first of the season for Quebec. It was 2-1. And you're thinking, it's not great on that last home game. But that was not the worst part. Shortly after that, I do believe Lotion took a hit against the boards, and he went straight to the room. If you were in the arena, you could see it. He was holding his arm. He went straight into the room. Not a good look. So now you're down Moran. Now you're down Lotion off that number 1 power play. And I literally tweeted it when who took the penalty? Dorion took the penalty, I do believe. Yeah. When Dorion took a triple penalty for Quebec. No Moran, no Lotion. It'd be interesting to see who comes out. And it was some Denway, Fortier, John Duran, I think Grenier, and Lounsbury. And the sump pump made things happen. Here's a call from Marty Kingston on Harvesters FM.
It's there. Fortier, Jean Duran recovers. Back to Dennoyer. Dennoyer, airborne pass, Lounsbury. Sump again. Back to Fortier, Jean Duran. Back to Sump. There's the shot. Score!
This is a sweet little wrister. This is a sweet little wrister top shelf. Big Marty's going down here. But yeah, just kind of working it. Kind of the type of power play we've been able to see. Bringing it around there. And then Sump just 6'7" doesn't matter if you get guys in front of the net, and I've said that a few times. You got to get bodies in front of the net and take the goalie's eyes away. That's exactly what happened. And some put the wrister in to give us to get us back to with even 2-2, and then I don't want to say prayers were answered, but my question was answered. Who's going to take over on the power play? And it ended up being Sump with his 6th of the year at that point. I mean, is that back-to-back games? I believe it is back-to-back games with 2 goals. No, 2 and 3, because he had 2 goals in St. John that were carbon copies of each other. Yeah. Sorry, Halifax. 2 and 2. 2 and 3 with 2 goals for him. So he's now got 4 goals. in the past 3 games, 5 points. He's making a pretty good case for being a Wildcat of the week. We'll have to see him and Lounsbury. They're both making pretty good cases for Wildcat of the week, and I mean that's what Sump was brought here to do. I mean he was a bigger body, and once he got used to playing North American hockey, he was a goal scorer, and he did it for Germany in U17 and U17 stuff. So that's what he was brought over, and he looked comfortable on that power play. This is going to be a test on that power play. You're going to have to find. You're not just going to have Loshing standing on the top of the dot, just ripping clappers. You're going to have to try and figure something out, make some small adjustments. It worked in a vacuum here in a game, but now as you extend a little bit, and you're going to be missing Loshing likely for a little bit. Carrier and Denway are gone for up to 3 weeks. So, and who knows how long Moran. I saw Moran underneath when we were doing the podcast post game with Collard. He seemed all right. Teeth probably hurt a little bit. Good thing I didn't ask to have him on the show. I feel like he'll be a guy that shows up with a cage to get in that lineup, but we'll have to see. But yeah, that's a tough set of 4 that we're going to miss heading on our first road trip in at least 3 weeks for Carrier and Denway as they get ready for the U17 championship. So back to the game though. With about 5 minutes left in the second period. Caleb Denway gave us the lead that we never looked back on. Here is his goal from Marty Kingston on Harvesters FM, courtesy of the Moncton Wildcats Twitter page.
2-2 tie, 4:30 to go. Back to the blue line, kept in by Boutin. Mercier coming out of the corner. He'll center at the backhander off the post. They score!
Good to be lucky to be good.
I believe Caleb Denway.
You look at the note there. I mean, he's got that 6'7" frame. He had a stop just exactly like this. A little bit earlier using his toe. Denway is able to tip it, just kind of flutters past him over his pad and into the net, giving the Wildcats a 3-2 lead at that. Oh, my thing is gone. You guys thought I was fancy with getting that set up, and now you see the Twitter page. Yeah. Peek behind the curtain there. So after 40 minutes, it was 3-2. Shots were 28-23. Moncton just kind of took over that second period. Shots were 18-12, but I think most of the 12 were in that first few minutes in the second period, and then once Moncton kind of got their game going, and then Sump goal, they just kind of continued to go and kind of took this one over. And then, as Michelle said yesterday, because we had Trenholm on the podcast post game interview, he was going to score. He, in fact, did do that, and I am going to now find out the statistics on this, because I think other than maybe one player, and I'm trying to think who, especially Keegan Warren, but I can't remember who the other one was earlier in the year. They've all had at least a goal or an assist, but I will have that info for you on the post game or on the podcast this week. Again, if you're here, if you're new, like and subscribe to the YouTube, click the bell so you don't miss any of the post game shows and or miss the podcast that comes out every Wednesday. Michelle Howes Moran. He seemed fine. I didn't talk to him. He didn't talk a whole lot. I don't think. I was getting ready to leave, or not I. Layla and I were getting ready to leave underneath in the dressing room area after the interview, and he came out. He didn't look swollen, didn't look like he had stitches, but again, you never know how once the adrenaline wears off. Again, I just feel like he's a guy that's going to show up with a full cage at some point on the road trip. I don't think he's going to miss the road trip, but again, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on a podcast. So into the third period, kind of a back and forth third period. Moncton ended up out shooting them 14-9. Had a power play early in the had a power play late in the second where they just took over. They were on top, just almost put the puck in the net a few times. But Komarov with a check into the head penalty. You guys know my thoughts on 2 minutes for dangerous hits. It's more if they drop gloves and want to punch each other in the head, but checking to the head is 2 minutes. Komarov gets that one. And Moncton just takes the momentum from that power play. And like I said, Connor Trenholm gets the Wildcats a 2-goal lead. Here's the call from Marty Kingston on Harvesters.
On the net, Landowski up through the middle to Sump, a lead pass. Trenholm busts in. Trenholm, it's scored! Connor Trenholm!
Just a beauty. Just an absolute beauty on the breakaway.
They're working well together. Julius
Sump
and Connor Trenholm. The
when I should talk. But yeah, just a nice pass up there from Sump. Trenholm with the speed goes top shelf, and 4-2, pretty much sealing this one away for Moncton, as they would end up getting an empty netter from Mueller. I don't know if they'll have the empty netter footage. They do not have the empty netter footage, so Mueller adds the empty netter, making it 5-2. The shots end up 42-32 for Moncton. Like I said, they kind of just took the game over on really a special teams play. I mean, the power play, if they don't score there, it's 2-1, and now you're kind of wondering if you're going to get one. That tying goal was big, especially when you didn't have Loshing, especially when you didn't have Moran. For other guys to step up on the power play was big for the Cats. Your hardest worker was Olivier Boutin, which makes sense. They kind of switched defensemen. Obviously, they had to go into 5 defensemen. Moran, Plandowski and Boutin played a lot together, and then Selinsky, Fortier, Gendron, and Grenier kind of rotated in through. So we might see Dubreuil make his debut. Well, not debut, but in the lineup. Obviously, it's a good thing to get Gabe Smith back. Your 3 stars tonight: Connor Trenholm, a goal and an assist. Caleb Denway, second star, a goal and an assist. And first star, Julius Sump, 2 goals, 1 assist. Now, as much as 6 wins is fantastic, it turns into how does this group react to what could be Loshing out for a while. Carey and Denway, we know that is 3 good pieces gone for a little while. Again, I'm not speculating on Loshing, but didn't look great. And Mueller had got some top line minutes tonight with Denway and Mercier, which fully earned him. Ken Shea, who's a big supporter, called him on one of our Facebook posts the MCL line. Mueller, Landsberg, Collard. I even asked Collard about it. Just how did that chemistry come quickly together? And his answer was pretty funny that they had 1 practice and it just kind of clicked, and they've been going every game, and they've been playing really well through that. But Mueller on the top line, it's perfectly fine to me. The thing I would probably do is I would probably move Sump up, move Denway over, and have Sump, Denway, Mercier keep the MCL line together, and then Trenholm can slide over to center and allow Gabe Smith to play on that third wing. And then you got Delorier, Sampson, and Glass. Now they are going through Quebec. They could make some pickups, but it's I don't remember. I read a question from Brandon and I lost my train of thought. This is going to be an even tougher road trip with no Loshing, I assume, and maybe no Moran. I believe Moran will play at some point. Again, I don't know what Carrier is battling either, but he's had a cage on for, I think, 3 or 4 straight games now. I know he missed one of them. I can't remember which one, but then he had a fishbowl, like an iTech full shield, and then he went to the cage, full shield, the bird cage. And he's been wearing that for 4 or 5 games. Let's see if he wears it in the U17. But, I mean, if he's wearing it and playing, depending how bad it is, whatever it is, I got to believe Moran's going to be playing. I don't think it would take him out of line. If they do, obviously, I mean, you don't need Moran right now in November as much as you do in January, February when things kind of start to come together. But, yeah, I mean, Val-d'Or and Gatineau are winnable games on paper. But that Rennes game is going to be a test, and it was going to be a test if we had Loshing, Desnoyers, and Carrier in the lineup. So it's going to be a test even without him. But yeah, well, congratulations on the win. The Tigers have been on an 8-game streak with at least a point, got us to the back of top of the standings. Yeah, let's look at some standings here. Thanks for joining us, Raphael. Standings here. We got Victo 6-0-2, 6-2-2, and they're past 10. Again, there's Rwanda 7-3. Baie-Comeau 7-2, and they're past 10. Moncton now officially the hottest team in the queue, 8-1-1, and they're past 10. But I mean, you look at the Val-d'Or, they've fallen off after kind of a hot start. I think they were 4-1, and they've lost. They're now 2-7-0-1, and they're past 10. So they've kind of fallen off again. So that's a winnable game on paper. Then you got a tough matchup with the top 2 teams in the Western Conference against the top 2 team in the Eastern Conference in Rennes, and then obviously Gatineau. In year 1 of the rebuild, 4-10-1-1 this year. So, but again, we're 3-4 on a long trip. So that's not an easy game for the Wildcats to come back from. And we'll see goaltending split. You're probably going to see Steinman go back to back, and then Warren and Gatineau would make the most sense to me. But yeah, Moncton might even pick somebody up on the road trip just for insurance. They might pick up a Hackett just to have that extra defenseman. Hindsight's 2020. You'd maybe like to have Valentine again, but sometimes that's just not feasible because you don't look ahead looking for injuries. It just things happen, and again, Moran might play, and they might go with the same 6 defensemen that they've had for most of the season. But it's a crappy situation. I mean, losing Loshing would be tough enough, but to lose Carrier and Desnoyers as they're representing the Wildcats with Team Canada, which is an amazing honor, and you're happy for them, but couldn't it have been like 2 weeks later so we can keep them for a couple weeks? But if Loshing is out for an extended period of time, I mean, you got Val-d'Or, Rennes, and Gatineau, Charlottetown, Shawinigan, Bathurst, Cape Breton, Charlottetown. Rennes is back here on the 24th for Corey Crawford night, and then Halifax, St. John. So, if all, hopefully, Loshing can be back that final week, that Rennes Halifax, kind of on that 4-5 game homestand to end November, start December, would be lovely. But again, they're going to be pretty tight-lipped on the injury front, and obviously we're going to have updates via game day lineups when he's in or out moving forward. So I think the other amazing story of tonight, and I've been asking for it for 3 years, they finally put a camera in the walkout. They had the camera, the guy in the full-on white suit like TSN at the juniors. They had him standing in front for the warm-up when they came out, and they had him behind the scenes for the walkout and followed the players right out. And I literally don't think I've been as happy. I mean, I know I was pretty happy when they just showed the guys underneath coming out, but the fact that they followed them, just just perfect. I'd make a few tweaks, but hey, they're doing it. That should now be the standard, is to have that walkout. The only thing I would do is just flip the intros. I'd just start the intro and then I'd count down the 60 seconds and fade it out as they started to walk out. But beggars can't be choosers. They have a camera underneath that's walking out to enhance the intro. Thank you, Jesus. But yeah, that's just a little thing, but that's something that I've been wanting for many, many years, and they finally do it. So hopefully that is the standard when they come back to the road trip. Again, I don't want to get too much into the road trip because Jeremy and I are going to discuss it on the podcast, but which will be out this Wednesday. It's probably going to be titled "We're Going Streaking," as they go 3-0 on the week. Big win over Halifax 4-3, St. John 5-2, and then Quebec again 5-2, back-to-back home wins. This team is just kind of finding their groove, and for all those wondering, we will discuss our quick question from a couple of weeks in terms of the coaching. And we've got some other quick questions. We got one other quick question that I'm not going to give away here, but it is our Halloween episode. So we are going to do, provided that everything works out sound-wise, which I'm going to spend the day figuring out tomorrow, we're going to have the episode out on Halloween night, so on Tuesday. So if you're going to tune in. There may be a few surprises. Maybe dressed up, maybe not dressed up, maybe scary stuff. Maybe we're going to scare each other. I don't know. But yeah, it is our Halloween episode. So instead of Wednesday, it will drop Tuesday. So if you are already liked and you subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss it on Tuesday, because it's coming out one day early. And yeah, that's kind of, we're at the 27-minute mark. That's kind of it for me. I mean, unless you guys got any questions, the Wildcats are getting back to the hockey that we kind of expected them to play this season. And especially coming out of that Cape Breton series where they were very good defensively, they kind of got away from that. I think the Drummondville game kind of woke them up to, you're not where you think you need to be in terms of expectations, and sometimes you need that stuff. And I think so far that's exactly wrong button. So far that's exactly what they've done, because they've gone on only got 6 wins so far in the past 6, and they got at least a point in Charlottetown, and they could have won that hockey game. So I mean, they're 6-0-1 since that game. So or 6-1 in the past 7 since that game. So they're just, I don't want to say they're peaking, but they're just finding their game where they need to be, and you just have to continue that. Now this is the long road trip, and so there's going to be some bus lags coming out of this one, especially the long ass trip. I would imagine they'll leave early Monday morning, maybe even tomorrow. I don't even know how far Rouyn-Noranda is. I just know it's really far. Not Rouyn-Noranda, Val-d'Or. Val-d'Or. City in Quebec. Thanks, Google. Maps. We're just going to take a little trip. We're going to take a little trip, everyone. Val-d'Or. Directions from my home, which I'm not going to tell you where it is. That sucker is, sorry, they could not calculate, transit directions. Obviously, who's taking transit? No options in transit. 14 hours to Val-d'Or. So they're probably going to go up through Edmonton, down through Quebec City, probably stop at Quebec City, and then make the turn north at Laval. Ooh, that is a long trip. I don't know. Jeremy keeps talking about doing that trip one year. That's going to be, I mean, if we're going to do that trip, that's a fly into Ottawa and drive and make the drive. Or even fly into Montreal and make that trip, because that is a long drive. Although Well, and I went to Toronto, and that's about the same distance. So, yeah, that is a very long trip. I can't imagine doing that trip in January. So it's a good thing they're getting out of here, getting on the road. And it'll be a good road trip. I mean, chance to take advantage of a kind of streak in the other way Valdor team, and excited for that Rouen. It'll kind of be a game like Halifax. It'll be a game that you're going to want to tune into. And seriously, it keeps falling. All right, I'm losing my mind. So that means I got to get out of here. Yeah, so for this one, we're going to go quickly around the queue. We have Halifax 5-4 over Bathurst, Cape Breton 2-1 over Blainville, Bacomo 6-4 over Rimouski, Victoriaville 3-1 over Shawinigan, Gatineau 8-5 over the aforementioned Val-d'Or, 6-2 Sherbrooke victory over Chicoutimi, Drummondville gets a 2-1 victory over the aforementioned Huskies, and again here at the Avenir Center, the Wildcats get a 5-2 victory on our Halloween game. 4,100 of you in attendance, which it was a pretty good atmosphere. I don't know who won the Halloween giveaways. Kind of thought they might actually show people in their costumes and tell you who won, but congratulations to those winners, whoever you are. And yeah, 6 in a row, fellas, ladies, 6 in a row. Wildcats head out on the road. Don't forget, Tuesday, our podcast drops on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Again, thanks for joining me on the Alpha's Appliance Solutions. Oh, I'm losing my camera. Alpha's Appliance Solutions, 25 Halifax Street in Moncton, 506-858-5111. The KitchenAid Cook Up the Savings event from now till November 1st. Purchase any 3 Maytag major kitchen appliance, any 3 KitchenAid major appliances, save $300, buy 400, save 4. I got to start writing this down. I mean, it's been what, a month and a half, and I still don't get this. It is a tongue twister. The KitchenAid Cook Up the Savings event, November 1st. Purchase any 3 qualifying KitchenAid appliances, save $300. Purchase any 4, save $400. Purchase any 5, save $500. I got through that. I will see you guys Tuesday. I don't know if we'll do lives after the road games, but if we do, stay tuned here to YouTube. If we don't, the next time I see all you beautiful people will be Friday, November 10th, as the Charlottetown Islanders are in town for what I assume is the Remembrance Day game. It only makes sense, but we'll have to see moving forward. That's it for me, guys. Have a good night.